Hello, 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 everyone. Good evening. Hey, Miss Justice, number one. There you go, girl. Much love, PG. Much love to you, girl. You know it. And Patchwork Pudding, number two. Hey, PG and chat. Much love to you, girl. God bless. Number two in here tonight. And number three is Bridget. How you doing, sweetie? Hello. PG, good evening. I missed you. Thank you for being here for Summer Wells. You work so hard for Summer, and I love you for that. Much love for Summer Wells and for you too, PG. May God bless you all, girl. I so appreciate that you tried to touch PG's heart tonight. God bless. Um, hey, I appreciate all of you being here for Summer. God bless. Couldn't do it without you. Couldn't do it without you. Trust and believe that. Um, okay, but you are number three. You are number three in here. All right. And Carrie, you are number four. Hey, PG Mods chat. Good to see you all. Much love to you, girl. I love the blue. I love those blue hearts. I love that color blue. God bless. Love for Summer. Amen. And prayers. All right. We got 1, 2, 3, and 4 in here tonight. And let PG get down through here. Let me get down through here. Hey, Linda, how you doing, sweetie? There's our Australia. Let me keep moving. Hey, Carrie, Patty. Good to see everybody in here. Susie Q, how you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. My three girls, I see you. There you are. Let's see who else is in here. Amen. Amen, Bridget. And justice for Summer Wells. She deserves it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Missing puzzle pieces. Amen. Good to see you. Good to see you. Jolly Life says, hey to you. Jolly Life. And there's our Suzanne. How you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. Prayers and love, everyone. Oh, Patty, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let me see. Oh, Carrie, that's cute. That is so cute. Absolutely. Oh, that's beautiful too. Hey D, how you doing, girl? How you doing? No summer, no peace. You got that right. You got that right. AD, good to see you. Purple hearts for Summer. God bless. LG, how you doing? How are you doing? Let me see. Who else am I missing? There's Carolyn. How you doing, sweetie? How you doing tonight? My fragile little mind. Hey, PG. Hey to you, girl. God bless. Hey, Stephanie. How you doing? She says, good evening, PG. Good evening to you. I hope your day was beautiful. I hope your day went well and beautiful. Hey, Cindy, how you doing? There's Audrey. How you doing? Says hello, PG, and everyone else. God bless. Angel P, good to see you. All right, PG's to the bottom. I'm to the bottom, you guys. Hey, Raven Rose, I don't want to forget you. Karen, good to see you, hon. And Betty, good to see you. And Jean, I didn't miss you, girl. I had to go back to you. Hey, PG, everyone, hope you all are well. Hope you are too, sweetie. Hope you are too. Prayers. All right. Did anybody else get an opportunity to see some of the stuff JodiSue's been saying? She has really been like, I'm going to tell you, they really crawled out of the woodwork, didn't they? I mean, once we got, oh Lord, my mind just went blank. That don't happen very often, but for some reason it just went blank. Like, I don't even know. Hold on a second. All right. All right. Okay, you guys. Okay. I'm back. I'm back. Anyway, once we got the people to start coming out here, like Jimmy Long, and we started finding out about, Chad Arnold and how he didn't go to law enforcement, and we learned about Marlena's boyfriend and her, and all these different people. Well, for some reason, right, we got um the first people coming out of the woodwork, like JodiSue, Andy, Don and Candace, right? Even Candace has been doing, she's done like what, three or four lives in the just over the last couple weeks, when she hardly ever did one at all before this. Um, so we got all of these people crawling out of the woodwork right now, and then, oh yeah, let me back up a little bit, because I do need to do tell um about something. Uh for one, um there was another creator. I ain't gonna mention no names, but there was another creator had their little live on this on the 7th, right? On the 7th. And wanted to talk about, how they knew everything when God knows they know nothing, right? Talking about how Summer got her hair cut in March, and all of these things. Um, no, 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 no. I posted the picture up. I posted up proof, absolute proof, on Facebook of March. It was March. There is a picture of Summer, absolutely posted up on PG's Facebook, and it absolutely shows you that on March the 12th, 2021, in Kingsport, Tennessee, Summer was out eating. She was out eating with um, Allison's mother. Allison's mother and them was out at a restaurant. Candace and all the kids, and Allison's mother, and some more kids, they were all out eating at a restaurant in Kingsport. And Summer definitely had hair. That's March 12th, 2021. And not only that, but now the Jose thing was in 2020. And as you can see, in March right there, Candace was back out with this family, with the kids, back out with this family in Kingsport at a restaurant, hanging out with Allison's family and stuff. I'm going to tell you, they were friends. There was no animosity over Jose. I think they let that go. There was 3 women up there. All 3, were I guess competing for this man's attention, right? This guy's attention. Oh my goodness. Did you see the picture of Jose? Like, wow. You got to be really super, I'm not being mean. I know that Jose is, no longer with us. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm going to tell you, he was not that good looking. I mean, he wasn't bad looking, but what I'm saying is he wasn't nothing to be fighting over, right? But them women, I understand it. I understand it, you guys. Um, look at them. That's what I got to say. Look at them. So I guess if you brought anything up there, right? If you brought Charles Manson up there, they'd probably be all over it. Just saying. It just, yeah. Sometimes PG, maybe I'm too blunt. I don't know. Um, Summer's hair was gone by Easter, April 2nd and 3rd on 2021. Church video. Actually Easter was on the 5th. I believe the 5th of April that year. 2021, Easter fell on the 5th of April. So I suspect that, you know, her hair was probably shaved off. I say within that week right there of April, coming up to, they might have shaved her head like that on Good Friday. It's a very good possibility they shaved her head on Good Friday. You know, it's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. But, you know, in March, she did have hair. I mean, we're going into the second week of March. She still had hair. So, you know, this particular creator knows nothing. She knows nothing other than, you know, other than what she hears and sees. And, you know, she was going to solve Rose Blythe's case, right? She was going to solve the Rose Blythe case. And who was it that, you know, found everything out? We did. We was the ones that, you know, found out that Rose was having something to do with the sheriff, you know, the sheriff there. We're the ones that found out that he had an Indian friend. We're the ones that found out that, you know, the guy went up into the house where this sheriff and the Indian guy was rolling up some carpet, and it was really smelling bad. And he done told, you know, and supposedly, allegedly, her car was supposed to be right outside, and he told the guy that she wasn't there. So the guy ran down the stairs, and which he had friends waiting outside, or he might have been a goner, right? But he had friends waiting outside, so he ran back down and out, and you know, went about his business and didn't say anything, right? Didn't say anything about. But I'm sure these people were scared. I'm sure they was afraid. I mean, anytime somebody's evil enough to destroy one person, they're evil enough to destroy you, right? They're evil enough to do you as well. I mean, so of course you're going to be scared. I mean, you go talking, you might not be walking, right? That's just the way it is. So, you know, you got to be careful when it comes to evil people, you know. And people say, oh, well, you know, this person didn't tell this and this person didn't tell that. But, you know, would you tell? Right? Would you? I mean, what I'm saying is, if you losing your life ain't going to bring someone back. It ain't going to bring you back. You know, and that's just the way it is. You know, for this young guy, I mean, to go tell all kinds of stuff and end up getting himself hurt, because, you know, you did have law enforcement involved in this, allegedly. And if law enforcement's involved in this, allegedly, and this guy's right there in the house and he goes telling everything he knows, you know, something could happen to him as well. You know, he would be a witness they want to get out of the way. And, you know, so it's not going to bring Rose back getting someone else hurt. You know, that's just the way it is. And, you know, and Rose wasn't a child. I mean, she was a grown woman, a grown adult that, you know, made her own choices. And she obviously was making the wrong ones, right? She was making the wrong choices. And, you know, the young guy probably looked at it as, you know, she was married, had kids. She should have been at home instead of her car parked outside of this guy's house to begin with. You know, he was married up. He was a married man. And instead of, you know, her car being outside this married man's house, you know, it it should have been at her own home, you know, with her husband and kids. And he might have just thought, you know, she's making these choices, you know, he isn't going to, you know, he isn't going to get involved. He ain't going to get involved in that and get himself hurt. And I understand that. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if this guy is law enforcement, then who are you really going to tell? Who are you going to tell? You know, when you walk in there, he's staring at you, right? So, and if he's already sheriff, you know, like the main guy. I mean, if you walk into Hawkins County and you want to tell somebody something about old Ronnie Lawson, right? You want to tell somebody something about Ronnie Lawson? Oh my goodness, he's over the top of everybody. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, that's a very dangerous situation right there. Matter of fact, it was dangerous for you to even walk in there, let alone start telling something. PG should do a video on Rose Blythe's case. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I'm going to tell you, Rose Blythe's case is a very, you know, touchy topic, because you had Candace giving law enforcement the wrong license plate numbers, and you had, you know, her riding past Rose's car every single day. Right? She's going right by it, from my understanding. So allegedly, Candace is just coming right past it going to work. Gave them the wrong plate number and everything else. I mean, you know, God only knows. God only knows. I mean, what exactly happened to Rose and who exactly was involved in it all, right? You just don't know. So I don't know. You know, that's a touchy topic right there. Very touchy topic. I mean, you got somebody saying that they went into this guy's house and he's got this, and the Indian friend did take off. He did take off and disappear after that, you know, and I mean, got completely out of town, basically. So, you know, anytime you see people running, anytime you see people flying away, you pretty much know they got a dog in the race, right? Like Candace flying off of the hill, and Andy Bernard flying off the hill, and, you know, all of these people running, scattering in different directions. I mean, nobody was scattering before Summer came up missing, but right after she comes up missing, they're all scattering. That, you know, that speaks volume. That speaks volume right there, right? That's what I'm talking about. But I don't know. I just take note that, you know, since we got, you know, all of these new people out here, all these new names and these new people coming out, and, you know, so forth and so on, we got the old crew coming out as well. And, you know, I mean, like JodiSue hasn't stopped running her mouth. She's been running her mouth 90, right? 90 since Marlena, her brothers, you know, sister-in-law, and all these people started talking. JodiSue's just been like, you know, gabby, right? She's just been gabbing left and right, here and there, and going on. But, you know, that's a good thing, because we want these people to talk. You know, that's the whole strategy right there. The whole strategy is to get them to talk. But this particular creator also said, you know, Don and Candace was not together anymore. The hell if they ain't. Candace just did a video, and her and Don, and he pulls the truck over, and I don't know why, but he opens the hood, right? He opens the hood up in order to turn off the heat in the car because it was fogging up the windows or something. Don't ask me. I ain't never seen nobody do that. I ain't ever seen anybody pull over and pop the hood to turn off the heat. That's just insane right there. You know, I hope to always have a better vehicle than that, to be honest with you. Because no. But they did turn to the side of the road. You did see him get out. You did see him, doing something under the hood. Then getting back in. Candace said turning off the heat because it was fogging up the windows, what she said. And then they stopped at some kind of gas station or something. And I guess he went in and then came back out with the sub. And she was complaining that he got himself something to eat. But she's out. She's out. She's talking. And she's definitely with Donald. They have not split up at all. I told people that, like, back when she was supposed to be on the road, right? And Don driving, trying to get her in the truck or whatever. They're splitting up with her hobo bag, right? She's going down the road with her hobo bag. I told everybody, I said, they're not split up. Absolutely not. Hell no. Definitely not. But why people want to spread that lying rumor, I don't know. Trust me, Don and Candace, it's you and me, baby. And it's got to be you and me, because one ain't going to take the risk of the other one putting them both in prison for a long, long time. One isn't going to go nowhere else, because if one goes somewhere else, the other might just squeal, right? Might just start talking. And they ain't going to take the risk of, and not only that, but I don't think no one wants Don or Candace, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, you got to be a special type. You got to be a special type of, messed up in your own head to take either one of them on, if you ask me. That's my opinion. But you have to be a special type of, you got to be hard up. That's what you got to be. You got to be super hard up to bring someone into your home that, that at this moment right now is number one suspects in their own daughter's disappearance. That, can't get their boys back because they can't clear themselves with law enforcement in their own daughter's disappearance. You don't bring people like that into your household. These people are dangerous. They're dangerous. And, you're putting your family in danger. I don't even care if I don't even care if it's just you. Like, say, for instance, it's just you. You better think about, your nieces and your nephews, your aunts and uncles. You better think about your surrounding family as well. You don't think that, because I'm going to tell you, your actions has a reaction. Now, your actions, either give a good, positive reaction, or it gives a negative reaction. Your choices cause other people either happiness or stress. So you should be making the right choices, not just for yourself, but for the people around you. It's not good to be selfish. It's not good to be selfish because, hindsight is better than foresight. Once you make a mistake, So many people make mistakes and they say, oh, I wish this and I wish that. Too bad. It's too bad what you wished. It's too late to wish. Once you pull somebody into your life that hurts somebody that you really love or care about, it is too late, baby. You made a bad choice that you shouldn't have made, and you should have been thinking about that before you did it. You should have been thinking about it before you ever done it. Once you do it, it's done. No taking it back. Molly, you are silly. You are so silly, girlfriend. PG, it's bad. I didn't bring Grandis into my house, but I took her house for a good price. Right? and and how's that working out, Molly? How's that working out? I can only imagine. Grandis's house. Honey, that wasn't no house. I don't know what the hell that thing was, but I don't know. You can't even call that a house, right? It was more like a storage unit. She had a mother freaking camper that was a storage unit. You couldn't even go to the bathroom in that thing. That's crazy. You gotta wonder and not only that, but let's think about it. That you actually brought up a very a very a very good question there, Molly, because if Grandis had to go, her camper was packed, like the bathroom was completely packed with stuff in there. You couldn't even get into it, right? Couldn't even get in there. We seen it. You couldn't even get into that bathroom. I mean, that place was packed and jammed with all kinds of crazy things. Um, she was like a hoarder, right? She was like some kind of weird hoarder. Do you see all that stuff outside laying all around the camper? I mean, whoa. Like, no way. No way. Especially with Dom Wells inside the house. She's got all this wood around the camper. Uh, Shoot, she better be glad he didn't flip a smoke that way or something. And for on purpose, maybe. Don Wells is pretty evil person. I mean, if he undo her electricity, if he'd have thought about it, he may have did more, right? But you bring up a good subject there, because I'm going to tell you what. If she got up in the middle of the night and had to go to the restroom, because people do, right? People get up in the middle of the night, their stomach's cramping, something they ate. Where's she going to go? Where's she going to go to the bathroom? So they must have left the doors open so Grandis could come in to use the restroom and go out whenever she wanted to. So that means that they felt their heel was so safe, they could leave the door open for Grandma to go in and out and use the restroom at night. Because where else would she go? How else would she be able to go to the restroom? I mean, she's an old lady, right? She's an old lady, and older people, they have to get up there in the night and stuff, some more than others. So where would she be able to go? She'd have to, well, I don't know. Maybe she had a barrel sitting outside the door, right outside the door too. I don't know. You know, I mean, JodiSue and them have one right off the edge of the porch. These people down there, they use buckets and stuff. Okay, well, maybe there was other alternative. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, right, Dave. I agree. I agree. Yeah, you got that right. I don't know. I don't know. But I would think they left the door open. I bet you 10 to 1 that they left the door open at night because they didn't feel threatened. They didn't believe anyone's coming up there at all. I mean, these are people that had a sofa, right? They had a sofa against an open door so the kids couldn't get out. It wasn't so nobody could get in, it's so the kids couldn't get out. So they didn't worry about people coming in, right? They didn't worry about nobody coming in. And not only that, but this was during the time that Don was in Utah. When Don Wells was up in Utah, this sofa is against the door, an open door. You know, they weren't afraid of nobody coming up there and coming in. Because if you were afraid of somebody coming up there and coming in, you would have, you would have a big old 2x4 across that door, right? You'd have a great big 2x4 across that freaking door so that nobody could come in or out. There's no way they was worried about anyone coming up there at all. They felt perfectly safe up there, even when Don was up in Utah running around. And Jose, Don had done left, been up in Utah for a minute before Candace brings Jose in there. So, in all that time, that sofa's there, a big open door. Nobody came in or out, right? Just saying. Hey, all right, Australia. Member for 10 months. Maybe she used Jody's. BG, I love you. Hey, girl, I love you too. You know it. Oh, God. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe she went across the hill, used the outhouse over there. I don't know. You see Grandma flying across the road, running up JodiSue's driveway to the outhouse. Wouldn't that be funny? That'd be some funny stuff. She'd throw her knee brace off. She'd be throwing her knee brace off halfway up the driveway so she could run a little faster and slowing her down. That'd be some funny stuff. But anyway, yeah. Point being is, this particular creator knew nothing, absolutely nothing. And, and that's the problem. That's the problem out here, with the true crime community is you've got these people that know nothing and they come out and they twist and turn and and get people off the course of the truth and just mess the case completely up. That's what they do. And maybe that's what they want to do. I don't know. And this particular creator, that's very well could be their strategy because they know no case but this one and Rose Blythe. And and maybe they just want to hang on to it. They don't want to solve because then they wouldn't have nothing to talk about, right? They wouldn't have nothing to talk about anymore. So they don't want to get it solved like everybody else does. They don't want to get it solved. It's like Sebastian Rogers' case. I'm sure you got some people that are learning that case inside and out. They're not going to want it solved because then they won't have nothing to talk about, right? And that's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, I agree, Suzanne. It man, I'm gonna tell you, I'm sure that place, boy, you probably put a hazmat suit on and a mother freaking you could go in there, you could walk in there like you walk through a third world country with the whole suit on, even the breathing device and everything, and probably still that stuff would seep in and get you. Yeah, I don't know if you could arm up enough against that smell. Yeah, That's scary. That's scary. That's some scary stuff right there. And possibility, Molly, a very good possibility, right? Right? I agree. I agree, Jersey. Absolutely. I can't understand why she need help with that knee brace. It's just three Velcro straps. A toddler could put it on. Absolutely. I think that was all made up BS, right? That was a lot of made up BS. Absolutely. I still wonder about Candace having something to do with her sister disappearance. I don't think Candace had. Well, I don't know. I doubt it though, because she was at the time her sister disappeared. Her and Dom was in Arkansas, and they were getting into some trouble. So there's police report that puts them in Arkansas at the time she disappears. And Candace likes to tell people she was between Arkansas and Tennessee when her sister, no, she wasn't. She was stabilized in Arkansas, getting her backside in a lot of trouble by, going at Don Wells' daughter's boyfriend. So, and there is a report to that. Matter of fact, I have showed it. JLR showed it. So there is proof. There is proof that she was in Arkansas, stabilized in Arkansas at the time her sister, came up missing. So I don't think she had anything to do with it. But according to Allison, allegedly, um, Candace had told Allison, that she did do that, and according to Marlena, Candace was telling Marlena that she was Rose, her sister. No way in hell Candace is Rose. The Candace wished she was Rose. You could tell she's jealous of Rose by just telling Marlena that she was Rose, right? She wasn't Rose at all. I'm going to tell you something. Her sister Rose was, in my opinion, this is my opinion, her sister Rose, uh, you know, her Rose's backside would make Candace a sunny face. Put it that way. Rose was way, way more prettier than Candace could ever be. Matter of fact, she's probably the prettiest one in that family. She was very good looking girl. I don't know where they got her from. But she was a very pretty girl. Unlike Candace, Rose was beautiful. Um, and I'm sure Candace was very jealous. No doubt in my mind. Oh no, no. Candace was in Arkansas, not Rose. Rose was in Wisconsin. Grandis was in Wisconsin. Rose's husband and kids weren't. They were all these people were in Wisconsin. Candace was the one. Grandis went to Arkansas to try to get um, Candace on the right road. She went there for a while trying to get Candace on the right road, trying to take Candace back to Wisconsin. Candace wouldn't go. Candace got with one man after another there in Arkansas, and she wasn't coming back with Grandis. Grandis left Candace in Arkansas and went back to Wisconsin um, before Rose disappeared. But Grandis was in Arkansas as well for a while, trying to straighten Candace up, but couldn't do it. To my, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. Yeah, she don't show no emotions when she talks about Summer. She shows no emotions about when she talks about her sister. She shows no emotions when she talks about her daughter, right? I mean, she don't care about either one of them. I think Candace is very jealous of other women, very jealous to the point that to the point she don't care what happens to them. I mean, personally, to be honest with you, I don't think Candace can care or cry for no one but herself. To be honest with you, yeah, Grandis wasn't allowed around the children after Rose disappeared. Grandis wasn't allowed around Rose's children. I don't know why, but she wasn't. Um, she also tried to. I heard that she went to where Candace's oldest daughter was working and tried to, strike up conversation or tried to get herself involved in that little girl's life. And I heard that that little girl told her, you're not coming around me. Me and my brother don't want you. We don't need you. We want nothing to do with you. And I heard that Grandis kept prying at it, and to the point that the girl got her either she got a restraining order or she threatened to get one. I don't know if she actually got one or threatened to get one, but she had to put her foot down with the law to keep Grandis from coming around her and her brother. Right now anything is possible. I personally believe Summer is, in Morrison Cemetery. Right now, I truly believe there's a very good possibility she's at Morrison Cemetery. To be honest, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Um, but JodiSue came out and started, running off again. She came out starting to run off again, and I think she wasn't supposed to be around no kids. To be honest, Mary, I don't know, but allegedly, I'm hearing that she wasn't even supposed to be up on the hill. I know that when Don and Candace was talking to the boys, she wasn't allowed to be there. Grandis was not allowed any type of visitations with her grandchildren. She wasn't allowed to be anywhere around when they were having the phone conversations, or anything like that. So I don't know what's up with Grandis and the children, but something's up where she ain't supposed to be around kids or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but this is what I've been hearing. And that's what it seems like, Suzanne. That's what it seems like. I mean, I know that she wasn't allowed around Rose's kids, allegedly, from what they say. I know that um, the oldest grandkids, she tried to put her Candace's first kids, and and they was going to get a restraining order on her, and allegedly, that's what I heard. And then I know that when the boys got took, um, Dawn and Candace told me that Grandis wasn't allowed to sit in on any of the interviews or anything because I asked them, I said, why she take off, why why didn't she want to stay and help fix the house and help do everything to get the boys back? Why didn't she want to stay and and visit with them and talk with them and stuff too? And they said, oh no, she wasn't allowed. And that's what Don and Candace told me, that she wasn't allowed to have any type of interaction with them boys. So I just assumed she wasn't supposed to be on the hill at all around none of them kids, and she was. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. It might have been rain. Drop. Yes, it could have been. It could have been. Right. But JodiSue just recently came out saying some new stuff. Some new stuff, some good stuff. You guys, I'm gonna let you hear it.
Like Monster, I know he didn't give a shit about Summer. Like, he used
Right.
her basically to continue to get a piece of ass or to create his own little abuse.
Did you hear that? He didn't care about Summer. He was just using her to get a piece of. What are you talking about, JodiSue? What are you talking about? Used her to get a piece of. I mean, that could go a couple ways there, right? That could go a couple ways there. Yeah, that's what I said. What? Because that doesn't make no sense after Summer came up missing. Because, I mean, Andy was supposed to be seeing this Becca lady, right? Is that her name? Becca? Some Becca lady that he actually married. He ended up marrying this Becca, and he was supposed to be having an affair with this Becca lady for a minute before Summer even came up missing. And and that's when he ran off the hill. That's who he went to. That's who he married. So what is she talking about? What is she talking about? Because he was already getting, he already was getting that before Summer ever came up missing or anything else. I mean, I don't understand what she's saying here, but that's what she said, right? That's what she said, you guys.
The script
Right.
make me look so. That's how much Summer mattered to him, right? I know that he's been willing to use it. I mean, outright saying he does not give a fuck about Summer. He was lured in and trapped in a way, dude, but also they're making him think we were getting money, we were not.
Wow. She basically saying, we're getting money. She said, we're getting money. Um,
He was lured in a way too, but C and D and
she says he was lured away, like C and D, Candace and Don. He was lured away, by Don and Candace.
their team was did to him. He played whatever. But
She said whatever tune he played to it, right? He basically, it sounds like she's saying that Andy, you know, they were making money. Andy was, in cahoots with Don and Candace. And that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like she's saying that, that Andy was, falling into stuff that Don and Candace was into. And, it, they were making money. She said we. Not that doesn't mean Becca and Andy. She said we, which means her and Andy, right? We, her and Andy. That's what I'm.
he's always had a team like they have, and it's all.
He's always had a team like they had, like Don and Candace. He's always had a team like Don and Candace has. What the hell is she talking about? What is she talking about? Like Andy's got Chad Arnold and some of those other weirdos, and Don and Candace has, a bunch of weirdos as well. They both have teams of weirdos. What is she talking about? And I like to know at the beginning here, I really don't care about, their teams and everything except for what the hell did these teams have to do? What was their involvement, if any, with Summer disappearing? That's the only, concern I got with their teams or whatever that she's talking about. I am concerned about, how they supposedly was making money, because she said they were sedating these little children, right? And she tried to, wiggle her way out of that shit, but she plainly stated, you go ask him, and you ask him what he was selling to them children and what he was selling to Candace, giving Candace to sedate those little girls to be touched. And I'm not talking about the goody good. She said, I am not talking about the goody good stuff, right? She said, you ask him other than the goody good. So, she made it plain that it was not the goody good. Now she's trying to backtrack on that crap.
Sag Monster, I know he didn't give a shit about Summer. Like, he used her pregnancy to continue to get a piece of ass.
Whoa. Wow. Right? What the heck does that mean? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? I don't even know. I don't even know. I think JodiSue's got a lot of explaining to do. I think JodiSue's got a lot of explaining to do. Right? Right? I'm going to tell you, there's some shady stuff going on. Some shady stuff going on, you guys. Yeah. And then she has the nerve to say this too.
It's a dream. I didn't. Fuck off, What's the difference between being one of us in there and being with that monster that long and knowing what he said in real time, which was laughing at, calling other people dumbasses, for believing Summer could be in the cemetery or in that grave. So now he wants to be like, yeah, I think she's in the cemetery, even though the sumbitch seen exactly what the fuck we did.
The mother effer seen exactly what we did, she said. She said we were making money in the other video, right? We were making monies. Then she tried to say they weren't. She tried to say Candace and Don, he was falling into their stuff, what they were doing. We know what they was doing, right? I mean, in my opinion, they was touching and letting people touch those kids over there. That's my opinion, right? And now she says, he knows exactly, he's seen exactly what we did when it comes to Summer. He's seen exactly what we did.
So now he wants to be like, yeah, I think she's in the cemetery, even though the sumbitch seen exactly what the fuck we did.
Even though he's seen exactly what we did. What did you do? What did you do? That's the question. What did you do? It sounds like JodiSue might be putting Andy over there on the hill doing some bad stuff. Doing some real bad stuff. Not only supplying the stuff to sedate, but, even worse. Even worse. And then she says that, supposedly he was supposed to be the last one to see Summer's unlike body. I'm telling you, this is, what in the heck is she trying to say? What all is she trying to put on this man? That's my question. It's not sounding good, folks, what she's trying to put on him. Just saying. Right? She's saying a whole lot of bad stuff. Where Andy's concerned, where Summer's concerned, to be honest with you. where Summer's concerned. Yeah, that could be. She is. I agree. I agree. I believe she is. Mm-hmm. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. You know, she's really, she's really upset with Andy marrying up something else. And I think, I think that she, in my opinion, she's telling a lot of truth on him. She's telling, she's telling what she knows, what she put up with. I mean, this is a guy that used her. He used her to swing around, a bar pole, right? He used her to entice other. I even heard, I don't know how true it is, but allegedly he was dropping JodiSue off to different guys and picking her back up at one point, right? I mean, and if he could do that, then he marries something else, right? She does all these things for him, she really, um, let her dignity, right? Her dignity go. I mean, I'm going to tell you, no woman could swing herself around one of them poles and be proud of it. No woman could get dropped off by her man to different men and pick back up and be proud of it. Right? I mean, no, that's shameful. That's very shameful. And because if a man really loves you, he ain't going to let you do that stuff. He ain't going to tolerate anyone else looking at his woman. A real man ain't going to, I mean, he'd throw you out. He'd throw you out and find something decent. Right? Real men don't want women like that. And I guess Andy didn't either. Because, he married up. He married up one that wasn't swinging. One wasn't letting him drop him off. One, he married up, a better woman. He married up a better woman than that. And JodiSue's very upset about it. She's very upset about it. And I think that, she wants to tell the truth about old Andy and all the weird stuff about old Andy. And she is, little by little, in different ways. So she can retract it, but she's putting it out there. She's putting it out there on him. And then she's like, oh, I'll just, keep him from going to prison. I'll say, it was lies. So I don't know. That's, that's what I think. Right. Some women are all about that life. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. A lot of women that do a lot of crazy stuff for a man. I tell you, women at once upon a time, women knew how to, they knew how to, work it. Women knew how to work it. What I'm saying is, once upon a time, women, they knew how to keep it all decent and proper and really make a man want it, right? Like, they're like, no. And they really knew how to make men want it. And when a man got it, he was going to hang on to it. He was going to keep it. But women today, man, you know, they're the ones trying to hang on. They're the ones trying to hang on to a man. It used to be a man to do anything. He worked 4 or 5 jobs to keep a woman. You know, he would do whatever it took to keep his woman. But these men today, they're like, what are you going to do to keep me? Right? What are you going to do? Ho, to keep me. And I tell you what, when that table turned, I don't even know. I don't even know when that table turned. Because I tell you what, I ain't going to do shit to keep your ass. Right? Don't let that door hit you where the good Lord split you. It's been good, baby, but it ain't that damn good. Right? And women really need to get that back. They really need to get it back. You know? I don't know what's up with them. But you know, these women, they be sitting around crying and shit. They be working, keeping some bum up in their house. I'm like, what? Oh, hell no. Man, I tell you what. No way in hell. I ain't keeping no bum up. They too many working men out there to keep a bum up. Right? I'm gonna tell you what. That mother freaking 5 minutes ain't worth that shit. You could get 5 minutes anywhere. You could get 5 minutes in someone else's apartment. Don't even bring that shit to yours. Right? I mean, I'm going to tell you something. It's just as easy to get down with a rich man as it is a poor one. You know? And I ain't doing that shit for free. What the hell? What the hell's going on in this world? I mean, it used to be you had to take you had to wine and dine her. You had to wine and dine her and still didn't get nothing. You still didn't get shit. You be whining and dining that. You be whining and dining it for freaking months before you got anything. And then you had to stick a ring on it, right? You had to marry it. These women today, man, they be whining and dining him. They're like, come on over for dinner, baby. Let me cook you up. Let me cook you up big meals. Let me move you right on in. Let me take care of you. Let me buy you some clothes. Let me get you some jewelry. Let me get you all these things. What the hell? I'm like, I know. No. You know, I'm not coming to his house for dinner. He ain't coming to my house for dinner. If he can't afford to go out, if he can't afford to wine and dine you, then you don't need to be there. If he ain't got enough money in his pocket to mother freaking buy the gas, to buy a car first. He ain't got enough money to buy a set of wheels and put gas in it and mother freaking pick you up and take you out. Then he don't need to be you coming around at all, right? I don't mean pick me up on your bicycle, dude. Right? That's weird. You show up at your house in a freaking Uber and expect you to pay for it. And then come in and eat your food. Think they're going to sleep in your bed. And before you know it, move that ass in. And the only outfit they have's on their back. Come on. Who wants that? Who wants it? Like, really? Do I look like the mother freaking soup kitchen and the Salvation Army? And Mae fucking West, right? Do I look like Mae West? Like, come on in, big boy, and sit down. I don't think so. Are you kidding me? It's like, big boy, get your ass on down the road. You take your one outfit and you keep moving with it. I'm gonna tell you, man, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that love shit. I don't believe in that you and me baby shit. Oh, hell no. And I ain't got time to be sitting around dropping tears over some man. I ain't got time for that. I'm going to tell you, I learned a long time ago. The best way to get over somebody is to find someone else, right? It's called move on. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. And trust me, there's somebody always a looking. And they ain't broke. They're not broke. You know, women that end up with Andes, well, they're not looking anywhere else. They're not looking for anything better. Just saying. You know, JodiSue could have went to school, right? She could have got educated, and she could have became a secretary or something and met a good man and had kids. She could have, went to school, opened her own little business and met a good man, right? She could have put herself in a position to meet better quality men than Andy Bernard. Why she sat there and let herself be used and abused by this guy, I don't know. You know, she obviously didn't feel, she obviously didn't have, enough self-esteem. A lot of people have low self-esteem. A lot of people, it ain't who am I going to have, it's who's going to have me. Maybe she liked being with Andy because she felt she could wear the pants and run the show. Maybe she thought if she bought everything and did everything, that's going to give her, she's going to have the boss type scenario going on. I'm the boss, like she's got him in her pocket. She didn't have that mother freaker in her pocket. She ain't ever had him in her pocket. He had her in his pocket. And man, did he use and abuse it. And that's what happens. A man knows it don't take much to, to deceive a woman. They know that if you just let her act like boss and you just let, that you could use and abuse the hell out of her. If you just act like you care, you wrap her around your fingers. That's disgusting. Because women don't, they don't look any further. They don't look past that. And a lot of them get used and abused, right? It's true. I mean, I think all women make mistakes when it comes to men. I think every woman makes mistakes when it comes to men. And you always hear women, say, how come the guys I like don't like me? And how come the ones that I can't stand are all over me? I don't know. What the hell do I look like? Mother freaking Webster Einstein? I ain't got the answers to everything. I don't know. I mean, you figure that out, and if you figure that one out, you'd probably be a millionaire. You know, I think people just have a certain type. You know, I mean, if a man walks into a place and you're swinging yourself around on some bars up there, right? You're swinging yourself around on these bars. Um, 9 times, well, actually 9.5 times, like 1 in 1,000,000, 1 in 1,000,000 is going to find someone worth having that's doing that. 1 in 1,000,000 will find someone worth having. You know, it's like hitting the lottery. Because if you're in there swinging around, most men don't want you. Yeah, they want to use you and they want to abuse you, but they don't want you. You're not wife material. You know, there's an old saying, you know, you can't turn a person like this into a housewife, right? You can't turn them into a housewife. That's why men don't want them. When a man goes to get married, he wants a housewife. He wants a woman that's going to be able to keep the house, take care of the kids. You know, he wants a multitasker. He wants someone that can, you know, that's smart and intelligent and can take care of a lot of things. And he takes care of a lot of things too. You know, it's a 50-50. When he walks into a place with you on his arm, he wants respect. He don't want somebody sniggering in a corner that just saw you at the Bobo Club swinging around, you know, on a pole. He don't want to have to try to hide his face when he takes you out. It's just the way it is. Right? Sometimes you get used and abused. Right? That's true, Molly. I got to agree. That was a good one. That was a very good one. Anyway, yeah. But she's getting it all out on Andy. She's giving it all out on him now. Yeah, Andy's new old lady. I mean, put it this way. That lady right there, you know, all she got was JodiSue's leftovers, right? She got JodiSue's leftovers. That's it. And I wouldn't have wanted them. I wouldn't want JodiSue's leftovers. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. No way. I mean, what does Andy got to offer? Why don't we go? Hey, baby, how about me and you get together and go up there and live on my parents' property? What do you mean your parents' property? Yeah. Where's your property? I don't have any. Let's go live up on my parents' property. Oh, I forgot to tell you, before we can get up there, we got to pay $1 million to get a bunch of radiated poo-poo put away. Well, where the hell are we going to get that at? Right? No, I'm not gonna work. I'm not gonna work for 50 years to get radiated poo-poo taken away from your dad and mom's property, right? What the hell's it doing there? Right? What the hell's it doing there? And what exactly is this thing that you call a house? Where the hell's the windows? Where's the doors? What the heck is this thing in a corner? You know, looks like it came off the ark. You call it a wood burning stove or something, right? It's the only damn thing still standing in here. It's probably holding the place up right now. Yeah, I don't think it'll ever go bad. I don't think that damn thing could ever go bad. I mean, it's built like a mother freaking tank, right? Everything else is falling down around it. It's crazy. What are you going to do up there? I don't know. Well, we could get a trailer. Uh, you could do that by yourself, dude. Right? Think a trailer's only got like one room, and that's enough room for one person. What the hell am I going to do? Where am I going to live? Right? Oh no, we could both live in there with 20 kids. What the fuck? You gotta be kidding me. I don't think so. Not today. What's up, hon? Sorry about that, you guys. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, that lady didn't get no prize. You know, it's more like yeah, she got a prize all right out of the Cracker Jack box, right? She got a mother freaking prize out of the Cracker Jack box, and trust me, it ain't much of a prize. Not a much of a prize, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, you know, I'd like to say, you know, that everything started with this beautiful little girl that you see on the screen right now. But it didn't. It didn't. This stuff did not start with this little girl on the screen right now. It didn't start with her. It started with a bunch of people that didn't know how to follow the 10 Commandments. That's what it started with. It started with a whole lot of evil people that did not and does not keep the commandments. Don Wells likes to go around saying, "Oh, I'm just trying to keep the commandments. I'm just trying to keep the commandments." Dude, you ain't ever kept the commandments in your life. You haven't ever kept the commandments in your life. Period. You did not honor your mom and your dad. You went up there and you attacked your dad, trying to push your way into what he worked and owned. That you didn't ever do a damn thing. You didn't do one thing that would even make you worthy of of even one grass blade out of your dad's yard. You done nothing, Don Wells. You went to your mother's and because she was a real mom, you took advantage of her kind, loving heart. At her weakest moments, she thought you were going to move in, that you're going to help her and be a good son, and you wasn't. Allegedly, from all the people around there who knew your mother, said that you used and abused this poor woman. And according to Marlena, right on this panel, she said, "Donald, you want to run your mouth? Let's talk about you ODing your own mother." I said, "What?" Yeah. That's what she wanted to ask you. That's what she wanted to talk about. Right? As if she had inside information. Did she try to backtrack a little on it? She tried to backtrack, but when she said it, she acted like she was there and knew all about it, Don Wells. And according to Marlena, she was there, like from day one, you guys coming into Tennessee. Like you immediately knew her dad, started working with him, and she started hanging out with you and on the hill. And your mother would have been there. Does Marlena know something that nobody else does about you, Don Wells? Because she wanted to talk about it. She wanted to talk about it. So honoring your parents to have your days prolonged upon the earth, you obviously did not do. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not steal. Well, I heard you were a pretty bad thief, right? I heard you're a pretty bad thief, and Candace too. And Grandis. And Grandis. Grandis talking about stealing flowers. Sounds like, and you guys went to all them churches. One wasn't enough. You made rounds to a whole bunch of them getting free Christmas stuff. Then you would sell it. Didn't even give it to your kids. You go there, tell these people that it's for your children, which God knows could have used it. But you sold all the good stuff and gave them little junk that couldn't be sold. And that was their Christmas. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Well, you and Candace do nothing but lie, Don Wells. You threw everybody under a bus. All these innocent people you were throwing under the bus, under the bus, under the bus. All these innocent people like Dudley, Mr. Dobbs. Lord, at one time you even went for Wayne Morlock. Right? Brad, Andy, JodiSue, Allison. You went after them all. Yeah. One lie after the other. Thou shalt not covet. You and Candace didn't want, nothing but these people's kids. You befriended people like Allison and the other lady and all of these people. You befriended people over in Arkansas so you could get to their kids. You coveted their kids. Most people covet your house or your car or your clothes, right? They don't covet your children. They might covet your husband or your wife, but they don't covet children. That's really weird right there. That's like disgusting, to be honest. Yeah. I'd like to know what commandments she kept. I'd like to know which one she kept. Thou shalt not commit adultery. You guys were messing with anything that would move. Anything that would move. We heard Mary talk about the dog. Anything that would move. Yeah. It didn't start with this little girl. Man, it started long before that. It started all the way back in Utah. Way back in Utah, you guys. Then over into Arkansas, right? Over into Arkansas. The funny thing is you can always find people like Lisa J, right? You can always find people like her. No matter where you go, there's Lisa J's. Don and Candace know how to find them too. No matter what state they're in, they know how to find these people. They know how to suck them in. They know how to use them up. Right there. Right there. Real team, right? That's a real team right there. They said on the news, they lied. They said on the news and they lied. Oh, Summer wanted her hair cut just like the boys. No, the boy's hair wasn't cut. But you know, these two people, look at them. Mugshots. Mugshots. What do you expect out of people like this? What do we really expect out of people with mugshots? Oh, mugshot. Another mugshot. Mommy and daddy mugshots. Look at them. Do you really trust these people? Do you really trust them? Take a good look at them. Or do you trust him? Because you know what he said? No signs of an abduction whatsoever. No signs of no abduction. Meaning, I don't damn believe it. I don't think it happened. Hell to the no-no. Right? Hell to the no-no. I thought the chow might have walked off before I realized how evil these mother freakers up here were. I didn't really know how evil they was until everything done got messed up. I would never believe someone could do this. But, you know, you learn a lesson when you live and you learn. And poor little Pruitt. Oh, we did search after search after search. We did an extra deep dive search. Yeah, I believe if she was out there, we'd have found her. I don't believe she's out there. I know people want to hold out and believe she's alive. But we believe she's in the area. And people need to prepare, you know, for her not to be alive. Basically saying, we don't believe she's alive. We believe she's in the area somewhere, but we don't believe she's living. People need to prepare for that. And we don't think she wandered off either, because we would have definitely found her. They'd have been signs out there, something out there, letting us know that she was out there. But there was nothing. Pruitt wasn't the one out there looking. Pruitt wasn't the one out there looking. The people out there were looking were professionals. The people that was out there operating that search was professional people who find children, who find missing people all the time, who wandered off. These people go into big parks and stuff and find people who are lost and bring them to safety all the time. Pruitt wasn't looking. Professionals were. And those professionals came back saying, there's no signs out here of any, you know, no broken twigs, no, you know, there would have been trampled down stuff. There would have been, you know, broken sticks and stuff where, you know, a child out there is going to grab onto stuff, is going to smash stuff down. There's no signs whatsoever of any of the nature being disturbed by, you know, by a human. Take a look at that. Take a look at that. You're going to trust in someone that allows their child to sleep on a mattress like this? Really? We want to support someone that lets their child sleep on a mattress like this? Really? A liar? A liar that acts like someone could see through that back door when no one could see through it at all? And nobody in, nobody out. Everything was locked up. It was totally locked up. That house was locked down. Nobody went out that door in it. Matter of fact, fingerprints showed that there was no fresh fingerprints of Summers. Law enforcement knows she didn't go in or out that door. And nobody else did, because the fingerprints that were on it belonged to family, and there was no fingerprint smudged. So if someone came there, if they had gloves on, they would have smeared the original fingerprints of the families. It's like wiping it down with a rag. Things would have been smudged. They know that that child wasn't nowhere near that door. Look at this. Look at this. It's Christmas. It's Christmas Day. Christmas Day. And look at this. This baby should have been looking beautiful. She should have been looking beautiful, but look under her eyes. Look how bad off she looks. Look how malnutrition these kids look. It's sad. It's sad. Right here. Right here. Right there. This is one that when they were over in Arkansas, she contacts an essayer, right? She contacts essayers. She was the one hanging in Domwell's garage with a kid that got took for essay. Matter of fact, just recently, she was in a hotel where they were doing something bad to a 3-year-old child in the bathtub, and then, showing video of the child's personal areas to people, right? To people. Some more nasty, disgusting things, right? Because this is what the Wells like to indulge themselves with, is people like her. And there's a lot of people like that. A lot of people like that, you guys. Can you stand to look at it? Can you stand to look at that? Can you stand to look at someone that is, in my book, my opinion, just as bad as Don and Candace? Just as bad, if not worse. And they got into Tennessee, and this is what they started. This is right here is what they started affiliating themselves with, right there. Remember the one? You go ask him what he was giving Candace to sedate those little girls to allow them to be touched. He was the last one to see her online body, says JodiSue. He didn't care about Summer. He couldn't stand Summer. He was just using Summer for, you know what she said. I won't repeat it. Right there. Right there. You guys really think that's innocent? And this lived down the road. This lived on, all the way down the end of the road. Right there. Arrested in a shooting incident. arrested in a shooting incident. These are the type of people. And you know, on June 15th, 2021, they were supposed to be scrapping a vehicle at the time Summer came up missing, right? They were supposed to be gone scrapping a vehicle at the time. They wasn't even come back yet. And we was like, oh, well, you know, that makes sense. But then we heard they wasn't scrapping a vehicle. Then we heard that they was hauling a motorcycle. You know, I've heard so many different stories from you know, Fred and Laura, right? From Fred and Laura. I've heard so many different stories. I don't know what's the truth because none of these people can tell it. They supposed to have been at a gas station that day too, right? They supposed to have been at a gas station. Andy's supposed to have been at the gas station as well. I don't know. You know, Fred was able to tell law enforcement details about Cotton's death that no one else knew. Fred also did not pass the lie detector's test upon Cotton's death as well. You know, did Fred have anything to do with Cotton? I don't know. I wasn't there. You know, I got my suspicions, but Cotton's another one. That's, you know, surrounds the Summer Wells case, right? Cotton's another one that was saying some really weird stuff about Summer and about Fred and about some stuff, right? Supposedly, you know, allegedly. And, you know, these two right here, you know, I don't know. I don't know because, you know, he says up, she says down. He says over, she says under. You know, I don't know. I mean, what is the truth? Don't seem like anyone can tell it. It don't seem like anyone can tell the truth. But up the top here, you know, this is all the people surrounding this little girl's case at first. You know, these are all the people. The first, you know, before and during and at the time, you know, we had these people surrounding the case. But we found that there's a lot more people surrounding the case as well. You know, this is what the Wells affiliated themselves with. A lot of them ain't no longer with us, right? A lot of them ain't no longer with us. You know, Cotton, Marlena's dad, Jose, right? Leslie, Allison, so many people not no longer with us surrounding this case. You know, they was up there, three of them fighting over this. Look at that. I mean, and he was fighting to get the hell out of there, right? He was fighting to say no. He's like, hey, ladies, look, you know, this boy wants to be a girl when I'm in the presence of you, right? While I'm here, I would just like to be a girl. Leave me alone. Don't touch me. I mean, that's really weird. I mean, this guy has kids and everything else. He definitely ain't that way, but he wanted to be when he met up with them. He's like, oh Lord, why do I gotta be a man today? And look at this. This is another thing that was up there, right? This is another thing that was up there. God have mercy. And this right here was up there, right? Look at this. Look at it. I mean, you know, you could tell how highly intelligent they are, right? Look, I mean, this gentleman's wearing his top hat and everything. He's got his blow up top hat on and everything. I mean, they dignifying, right? They dignifying up there. What the hell? Yeah, look at this. Look at this. This is what, this is what the Wells affiliate themselves with. Right here. This is what they affiliate themselves with. And this. Look at old Jimmy Long, right? And this. I don't even know what the hell that is. But, I don't even know what the hell that is. And then this, right? This is what Don had to run over into Arkansas away from. Because he wanted to implicate him. Looky there. There's another one. There's another one, 2 of them in an accident, both of them supposedly surrounding the case, right? Look. Take a look at it. This is what that little girl and those children had to put up with. There he goes, another one, right? Bill Shipley, another one. And this was guarding the hotel room over in Arkansas, which lives in Kingsport, Tennessee. But it was over in Arkansas. Oh, and look at this. Bestest buds. There you go. This is the stuff right here. This is the stuff, man. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Look at this. Right here. March 12th, 2021. Kingsport, Tennessee. Summers got here. And who are they out with? Oh, that's right. Allison's family. They're out with Allison's family. Yeah. And this right here, this is, how they were doing these kids. This is, and you could plainly tell in the video of this that this baby was being instructed by these weirdos. This baby was being instructed by weirdos. And not only that, but I tell you another thing. In this vehicle, you see that vehicle back there? There's some kind of face or something inside that window, staring right out at this little girl, straight up. There is a face inside that freaking window. It's really creepy ass weird. It's creepy weird. I put it on Facebook, you guys. I put it on Facebook, but there is actually a face inside that vehicle staring out at that baby. It's freaky looking. Check it out. Check it out on Facebook. I mean, I did a close-up picture on Facebook. If I have time, I'll try to put it together so you guys can see it at the end of the night. If I don't, I'll bring it in. I'll bring it in tomorrow. Probably bring it in tomorrow so you guys can see. But yeah, it's creepy. It's really creepy. Straight up. But, as you can see, at the beginning of all of this, you can see that Candace is lying. Take a look at the top picture right there. She can see the camper. She can see the camper, you guys. That's the basement door. That ain't the back door. The back door is actually the front door. This is the front door, but it's the basement door. And well, actually, they did away with the mother freaking front door because it used to go into the kitchen. It got moved to the side. So it's a side door now. This is the mother freaking basement door, which is supposed to be the front of the house anyway. But as you can see straight down through here. That she could see that whatever, if you're standing there at that door and whatever you can see up there, it can see you. We already know this. Look at the camper. You can definitely see straight down through here. Nobody came in. Nobody came out. That's all bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Hey, I appreciate that. God bless. I got super chat. Thanks for loving Summer, PG. Hey, girl. I appreciate you guys loving her also. Absolutely. And I know Summer would thank all of you all. She would thank you bottom of that little girl's heart if she knew how hard you're all working for her along with everyone else. God bless you. God bless you. And hey, I appreciate you supporting our channel. Amen. Now, JodiSue said that every time somebody mentions her name or Andy's name, they get money. Hey, JodiSue, I've been mentioning y'all's names all mother freaking night, and I ain't got hardly nothing. So you know what? No, there's no truth to that. Quit saying it because it's not true. It's not true. Um, yeah, I you're supposed to get something every time you say their names, and I'm telling you, it didn't work. It didn't work. So I thought I tested out tonight. I thought I tested out. You know, JodiSue, JodiSue, Andy, Andy, JodiSue, JodiSue, Andy, Andy, JodiSue, JodiSue, Andy, Andy. I ain't. Oh shit! This is all I got. I got somebody laughing at me. Man, don't even go there anymore, JodiSue. Don't go there no more, because ain't nobody be giving nothing when you say your name. Or Andy's. I think it's more of a hindrance than a help, hon. Right? Whatever. Yeah. Yeah. I put that baby to the test and it didn't work. But as you can see, you know, right? But as you can see, you can see everything. And, you know, look what they did to this child. They started out by completely shaving her head bald. What a terrible, terrible thing to do. What a terrible thing to do to a beautiful child. But they did it. They were evil enough to do it. They was evil enough to fire their coworker and blame it on their coworker. And Don Wells is like, you see that picture right there? I was crying because I knew Summer's going to be missing, and she was in 18 days, just like they planned, right? That's my opinion. And I bet you I'm right. They started driving that vehicle right there, right? Beautiful little girl, man. Such a beautiful, you know, even after they did all the ugly things they did, she's still beautiful. I'm going to tell you, they might have shaved every hair on her head off, but man, she was still a gorgeous little girl. She was still pretty. They couldn't take that away from her because God wasn't going to let them. Was he, Candace? I know you got your ass in the bushes. God wasn't going to let you. And I thank God for that. I thank him. I'm going to tell you something. That little girl, look at him. I was looking at this picture today. And I looked at my family member. I looked at one of my family members and I said, she knew. I said, this little girl knew that they was going to destroy her. I said, look at her little face. Look at her eyes. She knew. I don't know why, but you can see it all over her face that she knew what they was going to do. She already knew. You can see, look how sick she is. Look how thin her legs are. Look at this. I mean, you could tell that she was just getting really sick. I don't care what anybody says, this baby was going downhill. She was going downhill because of something they did. She was going downhill. And I think she knew they was plotting against her. I think that little girl knowed. And right there's what was plotting. Right there. Candace used her knee to go into Kingsport to pick up Hunter. Domwell started driving the other vehicle and firing his coworker up to blame it on. And that dirty Candace right there, well, she was the one that got, in my opinion, this is my opinion, she's the one that got the dirty deed done through a teenage boy that knowed no better than to do what was done. You know? Can't take back what you do. You can't go backwards. You can only go forward. You know? JodiSue said, what did Andy give him? You go ask him what did he give Candace to sedate those little girls so they could be touched. Well, I don't know what he gave them. But I tell you what, I know it cost one little girl. I know it cost one little girl to be completely destroyed, right? In my opinion, it cost one little girl to be completely unlived. Because of whatever they were doing, something went wrong. Something was wrong to where they didn't want to go to prison in order to get her help. That touching led to something bad happening to her. That's my opinion. That couldn't be fixed. And they didn't want to go to prison, so they had to destroy her. How could you be part of that? How could you ever be part of that? I don't know. According to JodiSue, Andy's been a big part of it, right? A real big part of it. Tuesday, June 15th, 2021. Don Wells driving a Subaru to protect his ass because he already fired his coworker the day before in it to blame everything on. Then later he saw Dobbs and thought maybe that'd even be better, but they couldn't find Dobbs to do whatever they was going to do. You know, good old Candace, she likes to hug on them teenage boys. From what Jose said, Candace was Hunter's first, right? She was his first. She went into Kingsport, picked him up, took him to that swimming hole because nobody wanted to go to prison for whatever. You know, I think it was Summer should have been at the hospital that day, not Candace. I think it was Summer that needed to be seen, not Candace. Candace was right there, could have got her seen too. Candace was right there. She could have took her daughter in and saved her. Right? Could have saved her, but she's too busy wanting to save Don Wells and her own ass, not her daughter's. But, she could have saved her daughter when that 911 call. But instead, she was too busy, you know, getting a brand new vehicle for keeping her mouth shut, right? Yeah. Where's that vehicle now, Candace? Where's that vehicle now? That's right. It's gone. It's gone. Like all materialistic things, Candace. Sad thing is, so is all your children. So is all your children. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Now you're just with Dirty Don riding around in a dirty old pickup truck that you have to lift the hood up on to turn off the fucking heat, right? Yeah. Now, we know that Hunter said that he was riding up front. He was riding up front, you know, in his girlfriend's ride on the passenger side till Grandis came a hollering. Then he had to get out and she got in. And he said they put the boxes in the back, cleared out a space. So this is how he was sitting. This is how he was sitting. So you know what? That proves, this is his words. That proves that they had to stage everything back and summer upon it. That proves that they had to put everything back and stage summer upon it. That's what it proves to us. And staged her is correct. She's pinned in there. The hood of her jacket's pulled. We know that this child was staged on these milk jugs. I'll say my opinion. But we know that that's solid. How someone can do this, I don't know. You guys. I don't know. In my opinion, Summer is not alive. This is staged up. Right there. These two old bats took that boy up there to that water. And the next thing, we got this baby laying against the driver's side door, through Walgreens, through Sonic's, and through at the grocery store. She got changed, in my opinion, at Allison's house and staged up on this right here. She got dressed at Allison's and they put the boxes, put everything in here and staged her up on it. They put that cold milk in there to, try to slow down, the inevitable. That's my opinion. I'll keep it, you guys. That's exactly what happened. If you don't believe me, just listen to Hunter talk to Chris, because he tells it all. He tells that they put everything in the back. He tells that, he was sitting behind Candace. They made room for him to sit behind Candace. Summer was always on the driver's side. Then he's like, oh, I don't know how I got out of the car when we got there. You got out the same fucking way you got in. On the passenger side. That's how you did it. Quit acting like you don't remember, because you do. After they took that video, what happened then? I don't know. Because Fred says they supposed to have been, scrapping some vehicle, but then he says, no, they wasn't. No, they didn't. All of this stuff. Laura says, yeah, we was. Fred says, no, we wasn't. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. But then you have Marlena getting a phone call from Candace. You got her freaking brother-in-law, which is Chad Arnold, on down at freaking Fred's place, meeting up with Candace. Right? You got old Jimmy Long saying some weird stuff. I mean, Marlena said Jimmy Long's been going sideways at Summer's case, and law enforcement's looking for him and Chad now because they want to talk to him, right? Why they want to talk to Chad and Jimmy Long? And Chad is family. He's family with the people, that dig graves over there at Morrison Cemetery. And sometimes he digs them himself. He helps dig them himself. So, once upon a time, I thought that, possibly Fred and Laura took Summer out of there. I'm not going to chalk that off. But, I think it's more. I mean, if I had to weigh it out, Fred and Laura, Chad Arnold and this guy here and Marlena. I would say more Chad Arnold and them because they had connections to the cemetery, which Andy Bernard is putting Summer in being. So it sounds to me, and Candace did follow Chad out of there. She didn't follow Laura and Fred out. She followed Chad Arnold out. So that tells me Chad might have had Summer with him when he went out of there. Um, you know, so because Candace was, it's something she would have done to see where they were going, you know. And I heard that grave was crossed there just to waiting, so he might have went right up over there, you know, and to do what was going to be done. And Candace went on down the road, turned around, came back by and went back up on the hill. Or she may have went to watch it. She may have went down and watched, for a while before going back up on the hill, because she was down there at Fred's between 4 and 4:30. She didn't come back. She didn't come back staging the shit up with the boys until almost 6 o'clock. So she may have been, watching to make sure, that Summer was being put over there. Where that big blue tent Andy's talking about was. I mean, that particular gravesite needs to be checked for sure. Marlena says, I got a phone call. Candace says, Summer's out on the swing and just disappears. Candace tells everybody else that Summer went in the house and disappeared. JodiSue says, nah, the boys said Summer's outside. Well, I think the boys thought that they didn't see Summer ever come in the house, so they just assumed she'd been outside. That's why they were saying on the swing, because they didn't ever see Summer in the house. But Summer didn't ever make it in the house because she was on those milk jugs, on a live, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I'll keep it. Right here, Fred Hill says that Andy Bernard's dad was all over was down there at the end of Ben Hill Road out on Beach Creek when law enforcement was there June 15th, 2021. Right? He says Candace is hiding in the house and Don's at his house talking to him. Summer's already been hauled out of there. Right there. He said these people were getting out of there. Matter of fact, he said the guy riding in the back, law enforcement wanted to check his vehicle and he wouldn't let them. He didn't want to, he wasn't going to come in. They want to check his vehicle. He ain't coming in there. He got out of there. And I heard that old Andy's dad driving the red truck got out of there as well. I don't know. I wasn't there. Trust me, if I was there, you guys would know the real truth and nothing but the truth. But I wasn't there. So I don't know. And then this creepy guy was there June 15th, right? June 15th. And then wasn't only there the night of June the 15th, but he was there every day after that for a minute, right? For a minute. He was up there hanging with the boys and everything, and this is him. This is him, right? This is him in his black hood, right? In his black hood. I don't know, you guys. And he's got a black cross around his neck. If you remember, somebody sent these pictures out. This looks like Kathy, the friend. That's another one. All hooked up in this. And it sure looks like that's Kathy. The first picture is supposed to be up there where this weird stuff was going on with people in hoods holding Summer up in the air, some weird stuff up in the woods at some people's house. That's Kathy, the friend. The second picture is Kathy, the friend, at one of Summer's prayer vigils. So you look like the same person to me. Stands the same, looks the same, seem to be the same size, same build, same stance. I don't know. I don't know. Same skinny ankles. I don't know, you guys. Sure looks like it. Looks like it to me. You know, there it is. There it is, you know. Sure looks like it to me. And right there, you can see mother dog and pups under the porch. Right there's Candace and Grandis. That right there is what they're calling the back door, the basement door. You know, you can see everything. Look how close it truly is. I don't believe anyone went up there. You know, I agree with Ronnie Lawson. I do not believe that there was a. And then you know, JodiSue running around lying, and her son too, right, about an animalistic scream. We heard an animalistic scream around 4:47. Well, hell, Summer would already been out of the holler by then, right? She'd have done been out of the holler because Chad Arnold came in at between 4 and 4:30, and so and Marlena got a call at 4:47. You know, 4:47. Marlena's getting a call that Summer's already missing, and JodiSue also said 4:47. And at the beginning, she said 4:47 is when she heard the scream as well, right? When she heard the scream as well. So, you know, Summer would have already been out of there. What they might have heard was a machine over at the Morrison Cemetery, right? They might have heard some squealing machine over there busting up some extra dirt. Possibility, because they would have had the machine over there, you know, that they've been digging with and everything. Could have been that machine that they, and she did say she heard clinking metal. JodiSue said she heard clinking metal. Well, that cemetery, that would have been some clinking metal if they used a machine to, you know, to dig down a little further. That definitely would have been some clinking. And Don running around with his son, right? Trying to look at him. In the first news interview, he's taking his boy along and you know, like he's some kind of damn good dad. Why is it so? Why is it important to you, Don Wells, to, you know, to make a good impression on the people if you're innocent? Why would you need to drag your child along to try to make some good impression? That little boy didn't need to be around the news stations. He didn't need to be around hearing the questions being asked, and he needed to be home. He needed to be home with grandma while you and Candace was doing this stuff. Not you and your boy, right? Children need to be protected. Another lie is, oh, we cut the, you know, Summer's here. We cut Summer's here so that, you know, because she wanted to be like the boys. She wanted to be like the boys. I know. The boys don't have their hair cut. Just Summer. Just Summer. I mean, they literally sit on the news and told that lie, right? They literally sit on the news and told that lie, you guys. Absolutely not. They've been, you know, this is, you know, we'll see her in the resurrection. I don't want to say this. I don't like saying this, but I got to put her aside. I got to put Summer aside and, you know, concentrate on my boys because they're still here. They're still living. And then, you know, memorial benches, right? Memorial benches. I mean, you know, they've been letting us know Summer ain't with us since day one. Day one, they've been letting us know that. On Morrison Cemetery Road, right across the street over there. You know, and I noticed they're all trying to steer us away from this grave too. Have you noticed that? Andy going to other graveyards, running around with Ryan, looking other places. Why don't they just go right up here and look? Why don't they just go right up there? JodiSue, you know, lying, wanting to steer people away from this grave. No matter of fact, this grave was completely covered over and hidden. It was completely covered over and hidden, just found by the grace of God. Why would they hide it? Why would they hide it? Even the flowers underneath the stuff was hidden, right? So tell me, why would they want to hide it? Why would they want to go up there and camouflage it so it can't be found if it ain't playing a part in all of this? And why would Chad Arnold pull in behind someone and just sit there and stalk people for 15 to 20 minutes? Why would he do that? And then contact Andy Bernard about it. You tell me. I think she's in Morrison Cemetery. I'm not scared to say it. Yeah, right there. Right there. Flowers on it. But this, as you can see, there's still a bunch of debris on top this big stick, but it had a lot more than this on it. This is after my friend cleaned it off. My friend cleaned this all off. Yes, absolutely. He cleaned it all off. Tuesday to Thursday, which was the 15th, 16, 17, 18. See, Thursday was the day that this person was buried. Thursday was the day Timothy Morrison was buried. Tuesday to Thursday, that's when they dug the grave. He's saying they dug the grave Tuesday and Wednesday, and Timothy was buried on Thursday. Summer comes up missing on Tuesday. And like I said, they very well could have took her straight over to Morrison Cemetery, and that's why Candace was gone. She was making sure they put her there. And Summer's underneath this man. It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. I mean, Andy knows all the details, right? He knows all the details. There was an open grave that day. I'm pretty sure, because funeral days after. See, he knew. He knew. Andy Bernard knows, you guys. Why would they take a dog to the cemetery? Then listen to what he has to say. Dogs are dogs. They F up. Now watch this. It goes under the vault. You hear that? It goes under the vault. Remember, everybody used to holler, "Oh, PG called Summer it. So and so called Summer it." You know, the it thing. Remember that? People would say you called Summer it. He said it goes under the vault. Could that be an inside joke right there? It is Summer, goes under the vault. You know, you got to sometimes read between the lines. Because these people, they have a really evil sense of humor. Trust me. Be careful when you mess with people like this. You know, those partners in crime, inside jokes. Yeah, they're disgusting. And I'm going to tell you, why don't you know, when they hit hell wide open, they might be wanting to tell their little inside jokes. I tell you what, it's going to be the demons, the devil and the demons that are partners in crime down there. The devil's going to say, "Oh no, it's me and my demons. You know, it ain't you and me, baby, down here. Me and my demons are boss." There's going to be a special place for them. You know, let's hear some of your inside jokes now, right? You little partners in crime. Yeah, they're going to really get it. They think they're evil. They haven't seen evil. They ain't seen no evil until they hit hell wide open. that's where you're going to see some real evil, baby. Some real evil. And it's going to be, their backsides getting it, not anyone else. They're going to get what they was given. That's what they're going to get. And they were too ignorant when they lived on this earth to understand that. Too bad, right? Too bad. Hey, spread love. I got a super sticker. All right. Oh, man. Does anybody remember whose name I said when I got that? Right. I can't remember whose name I said. That name must have worked. Hey, girl, I appreciate you supporting Summer's channel. Absolutely. God bless. I appreciate that. They don't like me talking to PG. Locked down with April. Yeah, a lot of people don't like they don't like PG. They don't like, I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't do anything except we don't do anything over here except mind our own business. Try to figure out exactly what happened to this baby, call it like we see it. Do all we can to find her, right? We do all we can to find her and bring her home, get justice served. We really, we've always worked for the righteous reason, for the children, always for the victim. I don't understand it, I really don't understand why people don't like me. And we haven't ever went at no one that didn't come at us first, right? We've always tried to be friends with everyone, but, a lot of people want to come at you sideways. And then when you stand your ground, they get all, get all angry, upset about it. Well, why'd you come at us? Why'd you come at us, if you're going to cry about it after you do? It's all, it's all wanting giggles until somebody what's, right? And that's it. But as you can see, just recently, a few weeks back, about the time they was cutting Summer's hair off completely, they shaved her bald. They went and put flowers, they went and put flowers at the horse pond. They went and put flowers at the grave site, and then they put little lights all around her swing. And you could tell, you can tell they put the, the lights around in the dark. But, basically the first flower saying, this is where it went down. This is where she's resting. And, putting the lights around her swing up there was just, just in order to take their video and letting people know they were memorializing Summer one more time, right? Memorializing her again. Letting everybody know she's no longer with us. But I don't think they expected Don B to go to the swimming area, the swimming hole, and find those flowers. They sure to hell didn't expect for, PG and her friend to be up here at the cemetery. That was a real shock to them. That was a real damn shock to them. And the only thing they thought that anyone was going to know about was, their little lights around the swing set. But God puts everyone's feet where they're supposed to be, right? And he put, and God let the truth come out. He put Don B's feet, where they needed to be. He put our feet where they needed to be. And he put, Candace and Don's feet where they needed to be to tell on themselves. So it was all good. The whole thing came out. We've been praying for the truth. We've been praying for the truth. And you know what? God's telling it to us. He's telling it to us, or, it's up to us if we're going to believe it. It's up to us if we're going to work to get, Summer found. Are we going to work to get, to see if she's inside this grave or not? Are we going to work? Are we going to work to do the right thing? To push law enforcement to do their job and check this grave because she could possibly be there. And we want to know. We need to know. I'm sure Summer wants to be found. I'm sure her brothers want her found. And if she's there, she needs to be found, right? God, I think God is telling us, why would he put everybody's feet where they were at the same time to figure it all out if he doesn't want, if he doesn't want us to find her? I mean, it's kind of like sending the bus and, sending a freaking boat and then sending a helicopter. If you're not listening, well, whose fault was that? That's the thing. PG, it's Friday. Please listen to me. Let me prove it to you. Hey, if you got receipts and can prove something, send it to me. But right now, I'm going to tell you, this gives me all the proof I need. I can look at this right here. I can look at this right here. I mean, flowers, lights, memorializing. I'm going to tell you, this is where, where the video went off when Hunter went into the water. And this is, where we seen the next video of Summer, looking like this, right? Looking like that. So, I really don't need to see much else. I think we figured it out. I think we've, figured it out, to be honest with you. The horse ponds where it went down right here, and she followed good old Chad out with, out. I think this is where he went. And, and that's why they keep memorializing her, because they know the truth. They know about both places. And that's why Don felt so secure she'll never be found, because she's underneath somebody's freaking vault. Maybe in the casket. I don't know. But if they dig it up, trust me, they're going to be looking everywhere. And if they find her, well, I hate to say it, good old Don, police is going to smack the grin off of Don's face, right? They're going to smack the grin off his face because they're going to be over there slapping some handcuffs on his wrist. Him and Candace going to get some bracelets if they find Summer here. They're going to find some bracelets on them. It doesn't matter what they say after that. They're going to get some bracelets, and a few other people's going to get some bracelets too. There's going to be a whole lot of people getting bracelets, right? If this little girl's in that grave. No doubt in my mind. And I would say it was just a big joke. I would say it was just a big joke. If we'd have went up there and, these two flowers were there, I could say, well, maybe it's a joke. But when they hid it, when they completely camouflaged it over, tried to hide it so it couldn't be found, and that wasn't a joke. That wasn't no joke, because they was hoping that, if any law enforcement or anybody came in there, they wouldn't be able to find it. They'd just leave. So they were trying to hide it. And when you're trying to hide something, you're trying to hide it. The chow's probably in it. And then you got someone pulling in behind, stalking and pulling out. And making sure they call Andy afterwards, because obviously they were scared or nervous. And now you got law enforcement looking for Chad and his sidekick buddy. I'm telling you, something's up. And I bet you 10 to 1, they're in the works of getting this. I bet you 10 to 1 law enforcement's going to exhume this grave. I bet you 10 to 1. They probably are. Definitely going to do it. I mean, if they don't, it's just going to be because of the cost and because they don't care. Because they don't care. They figure summer, they ain't going to, they can't afford to. It'll be about the money, and it'll be about them feeling that, she's better off no matter where she's at than with Don and Candace Wells. I think that is, would be the only reason that they don't, pull this up. And then you got to think about it this way. Somebody ran this past me. I'm going to tell you what someone said to me. They said, PG, if she's down in there, at least she's buried. At least she is buried. What happens, PG, if they pull this, they exhume all of this and they find her and then decide, to cremate her? I don't know. I don't know. I would hope that they wouldn't do that. I would hope they wouldn't. They're like, what did you fight for? What did you fight for? To pull a child out of a resting place? Just to watch them cremate her? I don't know. Right? So that's something to think about. That's something to think about. But I gotta leave this in law enforcement's hands, not my hands. I mean, I think we've done everything righteous for Summer. I think we've done everything righteous. I think we worked overtime trying to figure out everything that went down. I mean, we're the ones that, when I don't think Andy thought anybody was going to snatch on to what he said. I don't think he thought anyone was going to take it serious until we did. And then I think he got scared. I think he got afraid once we did snatch onto it. And, and started looking into it and started, phoning, talking to law enforcement about it. And, I don't think he thought that it would go this far, but it has. Yeah, there definitely would be bones there. Absolutely, they would be bones there. They would be something left of her if it's packed in the earth like that. Underneath, that underneath a vault, because the vault is going to keep the dirt dry. Underneath it's going to protect the ground underneath it. So it'd be hard telling how much would be left when they pull it out. Definitely clothes, bones, the clothes. And yeah, it's only been 4 years. There's going to probably be a lot left. There's probably be a lot left. No doubt in my mind. Yeah, and if she was placed in any type of a box or canister or anything like that, definitely yes. There'd be, she could be in contact. Absolutely. There could still be skin and everything. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you what, I think they should look into it. You know, I know that we're taking the opportunity, that if they do find her and they exhume her, hopefully they let her be laid to rest in her own place, her own place, righteously, and hopefully they will. Hopefully they will. I don't think Don and Candace will have any say. If they was to exhume Summer Finder, I don't think they'd have any say about, anything to do with Summer. I think that, a guardian ad litem would be appointed and have all say, the court and child protectors. I think they would have the say. The state would have a say. And I think that, they probably would go along with laying her to rest in her own place for her brother's sake. If you ask me, hopefully that's what happens. But yeah, I truly believe, that that's where she's at. I think Andy told, maybe because he wants her found. Maybe Andy wants her found. These people clearly lied to all of us from day one. How could you support someone that sit there and lied to the whole world? They sit on the news and they lied to the whole damn world from day one. This mom and dad sat there and lied to the whole world from day one. Said that she wanted her hair cut like her brothers. You see their brothers have hair. She's the only one skin-headed. I'm going to tell you. In my opinion, they were plotting against this little girl from day one of cutting her bald like this. And she was sick, something was wrong, and they had every intention of doing what they did. Every intention of doing what they did. That baby paid the price, you guys. And 4 years is 4 years too long. It's 4 years too long. God be with her. God be with her, right? I'm going to tell you, this little girl went through a lot of pain, misery, suffering at the hands of these evil beings from day one. From day one, along with her brothers, these children were used, abused, grossly neglected. This little girl went through pain and suffering and misery that I can't even describe to you. I couldn't even describe it to you. But I'll try. But I'll try right now for you. I'll try to describe it for you. Mom. Mommy. Mom. Help me, Mommy. Help me. But she don't help. Anyone. Someone. Please. Please help me. Somebody help me. Help me. I hope that described it to you. And who was the person she was screaming about? Well, her own daddy. Her own daddy. Her own daddy. The mother on the 911 call says, which is Candace, he's hurting Summer. He's always hurting and trying to hurt Summer. But that mother didn't help her daughter. She didn't protect her daughter. She didn't care. The only person that was trying to protect this little girl, they ran off. They ran that person off so that that pain and that suffering and that misery and that screaming could continue on. And it did. Many, many times. What did True tell you? He had Summer in the shower all the time. What did JodiSue tell? He had Summer in the shower. What did all these other people say? He had Summer in the bed in the shower. What did Marlena say? My little girl had to sleep over there in that room by herself because Summer was in the bed with Mom and Dad. Don Wells did not let Summer sleep anywhere else but with him because he felt he owned her and he could use and abuse her when and whenever he wanted to. And it was okay with Candace as long as Candace got what she wanted. That's my opinion. I will keep it. And no child is safe around these people. No child is safe. Mary and her sisters were not safe. Their friends were not safe. And their other family members were not safe around Don Wells. Don Wells' first children were not safe around Don Wells. Other people's children in Arkansas was not safe around Don Wells. And in Tennessee, no one's children were safe as well. And do you think it's going to end here? No, it's not going to end here. It's not going to end here. It started so long ago, and it is not going to end until Summer is found and those people are put where they belong, out of society so they cannot hurt anyone else. Anytime that you see a repeated offender, they're going to keep repeating until they're put out of society where they can't repeat. And that's why it's important to get the answers for this child and get this case solved. And that's all we've been doing. That's all we've been doing. And if people dislike us for doing that, that's their problem, not ours. We will not stop until we find this child or we get justice for this child. We want answers, and we ain't got the answers we want. And you're not going to get the answers you want unless you demand them. Closed mouths don't get fed. Seek and you shall find. Well, I think we found everything except Summer so far. And I think if we want to find her, we're going to have to push law enforcement to do something with that particular grave. Because that sounds like where she possibly is. and we need to look. Now, that grave seems to have shook a lot of people up. So what's in it? What's in it? I mean, if nothing but Timothy Morrison was in it, why would flowers be on it from Don and Candace? If nothing but Timothy Morrison's in it, why would they go up there and hide it so it can't be found? If nothing but Timothy Morrison's in it, why would people be stalking people up there and then contacting Andy Bernard about it? You tell me. You tell me. Because it seems like they're going through a hell of a lot of trouble for nothing to be in there except Timothy. Just saying. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Oh, I don't care how crooked they are. You know, I mean, I'm not doubting that, law enforcement's kind of gotten lazy and, and a lot of other stuff, but I, if enough people start stepping up and speaking up, and the news stations start, when you get something in the ears of the news station, and the news station starts, bringing it public, why, if there's a chance this child's there, why they're not, doing their job and, pursuing it and finding out, then, and the public's hearing all of this, that'll get them up and get them going. That'll get them up and get them going. So, let's, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, unless law enforcement knows something we don't, unless they know something we do not know. Because it sounds to me like Summer got put in there before law enforcement was called. That's what it sounds to me like. It sounds to me like between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, Summer was getting put down in there. And then they decide to call law enforcement at 30 minutes later. And that's probably giving it time to either set the vault down in there or to pack it down really good before law enforcement starts coming around. Right? Just saying. Just saying. I think Andy does know. Like I said, I just don't think he thought. I think he thought he'd say it, kind of like JodiSue told on him for, giving stuff to Candace to sedate those little girls to be touched. I think, he kind of put it out where she was, and didn't really expect it. Didn't really expect anyone to overly snatch onto it and pursue it the way it's been pursued. And now they're worried. They're worried because if that's exhumed, she is there. There's a whole lot of people in trouble, right? A whole lot of people in trouble. So, that's sad. But law enforcement already knows. They've been sent everything. They've been sent everything. It don't hurt. It don't hurt. It don't hurt for other people to inquire about it. It don't hurt for other people to inquire about it, you know. You seen what Andy said. You seen what he said from A to Z. I mean, it's all in here, you know, in this one video. All the things he said about the cemetery, all the way under till it's under the vault. It don't hurt other people to send it in and say, hey, is this going to be looked into? It's a legible tip. Why are you not looking into it? You know, this Chad guy's got the connections with the cemetery. It seems like he was meeting up with Candace on the 15th that day. Seems like Candace was missing for 2 hours. You know, followed him out of there. Did they go over to Morrison Cemetery? Was she making sure that, you know, was they doing this before you guys was even called? You know, it really needs to be looked into. Why are you not looking into it? You know, and if they don't look into it, it don't hurt the, you know, it don't hurt to notify the news stations, right? Let them know that this stuff is, and send them everything, and let them show it to law enforcement and ask questions why they ain't pursuing it, why they're not looking into it. Could it be because they have a beef with the family that they ran over, you know, one of their family members, and you know, and they are worried about, you know, some kind of wrath between them, you know, because of that? I mean, what is the problem here? What is the problem? Why is this not being pursued? You know, it don't hurt. It don't hurt to, you know, to stand up for this little girl and just ask them to do their job and look into it, or at least explain, at least come out and explain why they're not doing it. Do they have something solid? Do they have other stuff that's more solid saying that she's elsewhere than there? Do they know something we don't know? Have they found her yet? You know, last time I checked, they have nothing. And last time I checked, you know, they have nothing. And when they, you know, and that's what you're going to have. That's all you're going to have when you're not chasing the leads, and you're not checking, you know, checking into, I mean, you're going to have nothing if you're not pursuing the case, right? If you're just sitting on your ass, sitting on your hands, you're not going to have nothing. They're not going to ever have nothing. And if you're sitting on your hands, why? Why are you sitting on your hands? Why are you sitting on your hands? Are you sitting on your hands because you went up there and you messed it all up? You messed everything up to where you felt you couldn't get it back, and you got discouraged because you dropped the ball so bad, and now you're angry and just don't want to do anything? You know, I don't know what their problem is. I don't know. But there's something there. There's something there. There's something, you know, there's something causing law enforcement not to want to solve Summer's case, is how I feel. Put a 1 in the chat if that's the way you feel. If you feel there's some kind of, you know, block in the way that, you know, needs to be moved, put a 1 in the chat, because I feel there is. I feel there's some kind of block there. I don't know what it is, but I feel it's there. And that bothers me. That bothers me very much. You know, it's not normal. It's not normal for law enforcement not to want to solve a case. That's not normal. I don't know. I don't know. I would think that, you know, I would think that this would bring them money. I think if it's a problem with money, then why don't they ask people to donate to law enforcement so that they can get this job done? Because I'm sure they would have more than enough to get this job done if they pursue it. I don't think it's money, because I think that all the people who love Summer would more than gladly fund law enforcement to exhume this, not only exhume it and see if she's there, but also pay to have it all put back the way it was. So that the family would be, because the family would, if it was my loved one, I'd be worried that law enforcement would pull it all up and then leave us holding the bag to have to rebury our loved one. Like when they break down people's doors and then they don't want to fix them, that kind of thing. But, I'm sure that people who care about this little girl would be more than glad to pitch in, not only to have it took up, but to have it put back in. Just to make sure whether she's there or not. Just saying. I mean, I surely believe. I mean, there's 446 people in here right now. And I'm sure that 446 people would be willing, every last one of them would be willing to put $25 or more towards this. Put a 1 in the chat if you would give $25 or more to have this done for this little girl. I know I would. I know I'd be willing. You bet your ass I didn't spend 4 years out here not to help and pitch in. I didn't spend 4 years out here to not help. I mean, you spend 4 years out here, supporting a poor, missing little girl like this. You sure in the hell are going to fund whatever it is that this town needs to be found. I mean, you've come to care about this child like one of your own. You are invested. You are invested at this point. And you are definitely going to, I'm sure that law enforcement would have, a ton of money pouring in to get it done. It ain't about money. It ain't about money. And I'm going to tell you, we the taxpayers, that's what we pay taxes for, is things like this right here. That's why we pay taxes. They got more than a damn enough money. It don't cost that much. It don't cost that much. I mean, people get put down every day for 10 to 12 grand. A whole complete package, a whole funeral packet. I'm talking about the plot, the vault, the freaking casket, everything. Everything. And even a service, even a service for people to see people. I mean, a full complete package, 10 to 12 grand. That's everything included. It don't cost that much to get that hole dug, and the hole's already dug, man. Right? It's already dug. All you're going to do is uncover it. It's already there. Everything's already there. You don't have to buy anything. You just have to dig up some dirt, pull it out, take a look-see, put it all back. I mean, that ain't a lot. And I heard these suckers are out there digging those graves for $100 freaking dollars. So come on. It ain't that much. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. People could directly pay the funeral home to have it done. If law enforcement just has to be there, they just have to be there, and and basically, just supervise, right? Just supervise it, check into it, do what they do. I mean, they don't. It ain't like they got to go out there and lift a damn finger, right? They don't have to go out there and lift a finger, other than supervising and then checking. I'm going to tell you, I hate to say it, but there's a lot. People are lazy in this world today. Everybody wants a paycheck for doing nothing, right? Everybody wants to, all these people go to work. For instance, you go, it used to be you go to a store, right? You go to the mall, you could walk in a store, and every department had someone there coming up. May I help you? May I help you? Can I help you? Right? You go, you know, to the bedding department. Can I help you find anything? You go to, the women's department. Can I help you find anything? Hello, sir. Can I help you find anything in the man's department? Can I help you find anything in the freaking, the home goods department? Can I help you find anything all over the mother freaking store, right? Mattresses, furniture, whatever you're looking for. Can I help you? But you go to the mother freaking stores today, honey. And let me tell you something. It's like going to the gas station. Get your ass out and pump your own shit. Right? Nobody's coming up saying, can I help you? They're all hiding. If you ask for hold on, Betty Lou, yes, it's Betty Lou has this department. Hold on, I'll have to try to find her. You wait and you wait and you wait. 15 minutes later, right? An hour later, 2 days later, a fucking month later. Where the hell is Betty freaking Lou? Where the hell is she? Because I've been here every fucking day looking for Betty Lou in this department, and where did she go? I think somebody needs to put a missing persons report out on Betty freaking Lou, right? Because she's not there. And that's the way it is. That's the way it is everywhere. That's the way it is in law enforcement, if you ask me. That's the way it is in all of our shopping malls. That's the way it is in the gas stations. That's the way it is everywhere, right? You got to drive through. Sorry. Could you please come in? What? You're too lazy to run the drive-through? Ain't that the purpose in having one? And so I can sit in my mother freaking car and get service. Now you want me to freaking come in? You want me to have to walk my ass in? Yeah. Because they're too lazy to hang out the windows anymore? But that's the way it is. And then if you do go through the drive-through, you got to go in anyhow, because they'll have your food on the parking lot, run into every fucking car but yours, right? They'll have your damn food out there, run into every car but yours. And all of these mother freakers are sticking their hands down in your bag, seeing if it's their shit before it gets to your car. And yeah, you're going to eat that. You're going to eat what's done been in everybody else's car. Oh no, this ain't my shit. Oh, I just stuck my finger in somebody's mother freaking cheeseburger and french fries, right? They open it up, breathe on it. Oh no, this ain't my Big Mac. I got no pickles. They done touched your mother freaking bun. And then this person wants to bring it to your car and say, oh, I'm so glad I finally found you. I'm going to tell you something. Really? You talk about I'm about to lose my fucking mind up in here? I'm going to tell you that's where you be losing your mind. It's sitting right there on that lot. After you seen your bag go to everybody's car, something told you it was your bag, and hell yeah, it was. Put a 1 in the chat if you've had that experience, because I know I have. I know for a fact I have. You want to talk about going batshit crazy? That right there makes you batshit crazy. I'd be like, what? Oh, hell to the no-no. You think I'm taking this shit? You are so fucking wrong. I watched you already go around the parking lot. I think that you went to cars that didn't even order nothing, trying to give them my shit. And you going to bring it here like I'm going to take it down? No, you're going to take your happy ass back in that restaurant and you're going to bring me my money back out here because I ain't going to be eating your all shit no more. Right? I ain't eating this shit. I don't know what the hell them people's got. I don't even know what they did. I don't know nothing. And I don't trust you anymore. I don't trust people that be handing my shit to other cars and then bring it to me like I still want it. Right? You are the very fucking reason I have trust issues. You're the fucking reason that I stay up at night. Right? My next freaking stop is going to be at a lawyer's office. See what the hell I can do about all this mental trauma I just endured on your damn lot with you. Right? I mean, that's bullshit. Like they be hand your fucking ice cream cone out to somebody else. And then you see the ice cream cone come back out of that fucking car, back into the window. And then you pull up and they try to hand you this damn ice cream cone that's all melty and shit because the person in front of you just breathed all over that bitch. Right? And they think you're going to take it and give it to your child. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. You know what I want to see you do? I want to see you eat that bitch yourself. That's what I want to see you do. No. Lick it. You mother freaking lick it. Right? You have some. Oh, they ain't going to have none. They ain't going to have none of that. Because they know what they did. That's the kind of stuff that gets you upset, man. That's the stuff we have to put up with in this life. And it's no different with law enforcement. Right? It's no different with them. You always get handed a bunch of BS. A bunch of stuff you don't want. You don't ever get what you do want. And that's what this world's about today. This world's about nothing going right. Nothing going right. If everything was to go right, Summer would have already been found. If everything was to go right, they wouldn't have dropped the ball day one. They wouldn't have had to pick it back up because they wouldn't have dropped it. I'm going to tell you, there's an old saying, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Right? Prepare for the worst. That means don't go in there hoping for the best at the beginning. You always prepare for the worst and hope for the best. But be prepared if it ain't working, you know, be prepared in case it don't work out. They should have went up there prepared for the worst. I mean, I don't think Ronnie Lawson was no stranger to parents, you know, making their own children disappear. I don't think he was a stranger to that. And he should have been prepared for that before messing up the crime scene, right? You don't mess up a crime scene. Every child's case should be treated as a crime scene. Every child's case should be treated just like Quentin Simon's case was. Quentin Simon's case, when law enforcement came in there, they treated it like a crime scene. No vehicles are leaving here. Everybody's going to be questioned. You know, they wasn't dropping no balls. They didn't drop no balls on Quentin. They was roping things off, and I mean, you know, going over everything with a fine-tooth comb. With Summer, no. They went up there like a wandering off case and messed a lot of things up and just couldn't get it back. And I think that's a lot of the problem. I appreciate that. I appreciate that on lockdown. All right, listen, you guys. PG's got to go. I got to go. I got to get out of here. I got to work. We got to work. We're back to the grindstone tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday. Monday. Listen, you guys, I know everybody hates Mondays, right? Everybody hates Mondays. I don't hate Mondays. I love every day God gives me. You know, get up tomorrow. Understand that God gave you another day. Who cares if it's Monday? Who cares? Man, I tell you what, get up and do a happy dance. Get up and do a happy dance and say, thank God for Monday. Just like you would Friday or any other day. Thank God for every day, man, because I'm going to tell you, every day's a gift. Every day is a gift. A gift that this little girl isn't getting, right? It's a gift that this little girl isn't getting, in my opinion. And I'm going to tell you, on earth anyway, she had every right to be here on earth with all of us. She had every right to become whatever she wanted to become in the future. This little girl, you know, she was a gift, man. She was a gift from God. She's a gift from God to all the people down here on this earth, but she wasn't treated like the gift she was. And God, I truly believe God took that gift back. I believe he took it back. But she don't get another day here. She don't get another day here. But we do. And let's thank God for every day. Amen. Let's thank him for every day. Keep those prayers going up. Keep them going up for this baby. Because I know God is going to answer. I know God knows where Summer's at. I know God knows everything. And I think he's telling us. We need to listen. We need to listen, you guys. You know, we're praying so hard for this little girl. And we're asking God for all the answers. And I think he's giving them to us. But we got to listen. Right? And that's what we got to do. And we got to follow what God's telling us. So let's do Let's do what we need to do for her. Let's do what we need to do for her. Let's do everything we can to get this grave checked into, to make sure, to make sure she's not there. I hope she isn't. I hope she isn't, but I just feel like she is. And I hope they do look. And I hope they do find her. I hope they do find her. If she's there. I hope they do. I mean, I don't want her to be there. I want her, I want Summer to be alive. I want her to be alive. I want her to be okay. But what I want and what is two different things. Just like I wanted Candace and Don to be good people. But what I wanted and what was two different things. We don't always get what we want, you guys. And I got a feeling Summer's there. I don't know why, but I do. And I think it needs to be looked into. And we're going to do everything we can to get it looked into. We're going to do all we can. And we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But until then, keep the prayers going up. Keep them prayers going up. I'm going to tell you, tonight, pray. Pray to God that this grave gets looked into. Say, God, I don't know if she's there or not, but you do. And Lord, if she is, please let that grave be exhumed. Let this little baby girl be found. Let us know all the answers, and let justice be served in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Please answer our prayers, Lord, in the name of your Son, Jesus. Pray for this little girl. Pray if she's there, that grave, that law enforcement ain't lazy. I tell you, God can move mountains, and if he can move mountains, he can move law enforcement over there to get this done. So keep those prayers going up, you guys. Pray for this little girl. We've come this far praying. God seems to be giving us all the answers. Let us continue to pray. In the name of his Son, Jesus. Amen. Listen, and pray for Michael Vaughn. Pray for Sebastian Rogers. Pray for these children. And pray most of all that no more end up like this. That no more end up like this. JLR was talking about a little boy who fell over a railing while fishing today. That's very, very sad. A beautiful little, I think he's 5 years old. 5 years old, no longer with us. Beautiful little boy. Beautiful, beautiful little boy. So sad that so many children are being taken out of our world. Let us pray that these children, that God starts protecting all of these kids and watching over them. These children are our future. They're our future, you guys. So let us pray for them and pray for one another. So many of you going through so much, but you're still here. You're still here, and you're still doing everything you can for this little girl and for these other missing kids. I'm going to tell you, you guys are amazing. Don't let anyone tell you you ain't, because you are. The world needs more of you. They need more of you and less of these people surrounding Summer's case, like Don Wells and Candace and them. They need more of you. God bless you. Good night, everybody. Good night.